Charles, good morning and welcome. How are you doing?
Good morning, and I'm well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Paint a picture of where you are. How's the voting going?
Well, I'm currently at YMCA within the Korle-Klottey constituency. This is the center set up for delegates within this constituency. We're expecting about 1,183 delegates to come and vote at these two polling centers, stations that have been set up here in this particular center. At my last count, at about 60 people had already voted. So at this space, we expect that by the 2 p.m. deadline, everybody should have voted. Unfortunately for us, unlike in Asin Central, none of the presidential candidates are expected to vote in this constituency, but you have all the other categories of electoral of delegates within this particular election also coming here to vote. Now, I'll show you just the setup here. So, unlike in 2023, they have moved the voting queue a bit further from the polling station. So, it's about 50 meters. You can see over there. What they've done is that, so there's this checkpoint with an AC official who will then check your accreditation if indeed you have the validation to come in and vote. And they are coming in batches of 5. So at every point in time, 5 people would be allowed to come inside the inner perimeter and then vote in these two polling stations. So the polling stations are for delegates from the Adabraka side and then the Osu side of this constituency. Mind you, in 2023, Dr. Bawumia, who is contesting again, won this constituency quite massively, difference of about 500 votes. His closest contender, of course, Kennedy Japan, came in second in this particular constituency. This is the constituency of Nt'l, who unfortunately is having some issues in the United States regarding some domestic violence issues. He was the parliamentary candidate for this constituency in the 2024 election. He was one of the key supporters of Dr. Bawumia within this constituency. So the dynamics, we don't know how that would affect the dynamics of this particular election. He was a stalwart for Dr. Bawumia. Whether his issues now would in any way affect how they're able to mobilize the support for Dr. Bawumia. But some of the people who have been parts of the Bawumia campaign, I've seen them around in these areas, trying to, engage a few people. We know that it's illegal to do campaigning at this point, but they're just talking to the delegates as they come in, whether they're campaigning or not. That is for our viewers to judge. But yeah, it's been a peaceful exercise. We've not had any issues yet. A massive police presence. The IGP promised that about 70 police officers will be stationed at every voting center. We've seen police officers right from the entrance of the YMCA compound. We have police officers stationed there. And then when you're allowed inside, you have police officers also manning various points of this particular voting center. So security is tight. The voters are comporting themselves, following the orders of the police officers who are here trying to make sure that there is absolute calm. In 2023, there were no issues. Voting was quite peaceful here, so we expect a similar outcome here today. All
right, Charles. Have you been able to speak to any of the delegates who have voted, and what have they been telling you if you have?
Well, it's just a sense of calm among the delegates. Well, most of them, the people that I've engaged, well, they tell me that they are Bawumia's people. Like I mentioned, this was a massive Baumia win in 2023.
Right.
So I've seen just one of them just coming out of the voting area. She just
quickening
cast
her
her ballot.
steps to
You don't
run.
want to talk to us? Okay, that's all right. She doesn't want to engage us, but I just wanted to ask her if the process, if it was as smooth as we see it. The NPP, they have said that anybody who would take a photograph of their vote would face sanctions. So that is one of the key things the police officers have been asked to observe here. And so far, we've not noticed anybody or seen anybody take out their mobile phones and take photographs of their votes yet. Someone just finished voting. Hopefully, she will be prepared to speak to us. Good morning, ma. How are you?
Fine.
Okay, my name is Charles. What's your name?
Sophia.
Okay. What role do you play in this constituency? It's okay. Like you're an executive. So what exactly do you do? The executive. Then
Me
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. What to Aberry? Net is saying, how is the process? You can speak down. Can cry.
Matu ababa mawe fine high com na peaceful no fear not no fine no fear not no fine no go back
No fear not very fine. Okay, so if we here for side adabraka na osu if we osu okay it's osu for no why never winning
osu for no
well, I actually expected that. So, okay, so this one also just voted. Hello, sir. Pacho, you're frozen.
Prince Kakari.
Prince. Constituency, Robin, our player. Executive. Executive, like ODN now, electoral area coordinator, and say.
Mina coordinator, me nambwa domano. Vaze kotoa bana ekwibiza.
And abano process no film net or saying a chair. I mean, how did it go?
Oh, anche. Oba simple how to yanako baby. Sombieno.
It's free at the Raka side and answer also.
Fuzu.
Okay. Can I ask you who you voted for, or I should?
Oh, and then the chairs.
Well, it's a secret ballot. He wants to keep it that way. Hello, sir. Okay. Well, he doesn't want. Hey, Chairman. So, the.
Right.
Greater Accra Regional Chairman for the NPP and Divine Agorhum.
Coming to cast my vote.
Yeah, he is here to vote. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. It's been a peaceful process so far, as we have observed. I can imagine that you're happy that everything is going on well here.
I am as well as you, and we want to thank all the stakeholders, including the media. I think so far it's been good. Driving to this place, I was listening to your station, and I think that the report coming in suggests everything is going smoothly. We pray that it will end like that.
Okay, so we're expecting about 1,183 people to vote. At my last count, about 60 have voted. So, I mean, at that pace, we expect that at 2 o'clock, everybody would have voted.
Same appears to be the situation even across the country. If you listen to what's happening from the other regions, everything suggests that it's going smoothly. You know, this is a process that we've been through several times, and we understand how it works quite well. So, it's like doing what you are already used to. And the Presidential Elections Committee, the PEC, I think they've done a very good job. Education has gone on very well. They've tried very hard to make sure that the process is well explained and understood by the delegates. And there is an eternal affair. We are hoping that we'll be able to end it smoothly.
Yeah. The management of security, your party raised issues about suspicions of national security deploying people to come and cause mayhem or whatever. We've not seen anything like that here, only police officers, uniformed police officers. You must be happy with that.
I'm happy you said uniformed police officers. We are very confident that if the police decide to do their work, we all know Ghana police. If they decide to do their work, you can be sure they will deliver. However, we are waiting to end the process to be able to tell whether what we expect of them, they've been able to do just that. However, if you are talking about the national security, I'm sure it will be a bit premature to say that they are not here, because you will not see them in uniform unless you already know them in person, and you can say that this person is a national security personnel. Driving to this place, I saw some unusual movement of some uniform personalities on motorbikes, and I was asking myself, they were in some kind of brownish military attire, and they look quite aggressive. They saw my vehicle and they were looking at me questionably. I stopped for a moment. I was like, who are these people? You see, so I cannot for now say that the national security are not around. They will come in a different form. Probably you and I may not be able to identify them, but definitely the intention will be to do something that may mar the peaceful process that we are seeing so far. But if we are leaving it entirely in the hands of the police, and as I said earlier, the police deciding to do what they have promised us, I think the process will be fine.
You are trusting the police to do a good.
Oh yeah. That's it. The party, we've made our position very clear. We said we want only the police to provide security, and so far it's been good. We are praying that it will end like that.
Okay. So after today, there are questions about how the party will come together and unite for 2028. Some of the commentary during this campaigning period, you and I will admit that some have been very, very, very terrible. How will the party put all that behind the NPP and unite for 2028?
Well, National Council taking a decision to, have the presidential primaries early was informed by this anticipated, conduct of some of these aspirants. All right, so we having the process early enough to enable us sufficient time to be able to heal. Mind you, today is 31st of January, and we have the rest of the year. So if you look at 2026, we also have 2027, and then 2028, where most likely, constitutionally, we'll be having general elections. We have about 3 years to be able to, heal. So we are only praying that, considering the effort the Presidential Elections Committee has put in to ensure that the process has been transparent, all the aspirants have been given fair space to participate in the process. All the major decisions that have been taken that has brought us this far, the aspirants were all involved. They were all involved in arriving at the decision that has brought us to where we are now. And we pray that the outcome will also be such that we will all accept it. That's why they were made to sign the peace pact, and we pray it will be so. If it is like that, then healing the party becomes very, very easy.
Okay. I'll leave it to go and vote, but just that, unrelated to this one, your colleagues on the other side of the political aisle, the NDC, they'll be holding their national executive election in December. But their general secretary says, if you want to contest that election and you are a government appointee, you must resign. What do you make of that?
Well, it is just to give, a fair playing field to every potential aspirant. I'm sure from where I stand, that's the way I will see it. Because if you are in government, you are entitled to some benefits. For example, you may be having access to government vehicle, government fuel, and if you are going into a contest with somebody who is not having, that advantage, then you are actually in a poor position to have an undue advantage over the person. So probably that's what he would be looking at. So if you look at it, it makes political sense. Well, we tried it during our time. We tried it. That's why we were saying that if you are even in a party management position, if you are within the structures and you want to, as it were, contest for a position, you must recuse yourself. The thinking is to ensure that you don't take undue advantage of the process. So I think it's okay. We wish them well.
All right. I wish you well too today. I wish the NPP well. All right, that was the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the NPP, Divine Agorhum. We'll be here keeping tabs on issues here and then reporting to you as and when.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Charles Owusu-Kumi, who is at the YMCA Voting Centre in the Korle-Klottey constituency. And you heard him speak to the regional chairman of the MPP for the Greater Accra region, Divine Agorhum. We'll move to the Ashanti region, one of the few constituencies